Hello, my name's Lori. My name is Lori Schmidt, and this is a little bit of my soap that I'm packaging up and selling. But anyway, before we get into that, I was just going to let you know I'm going to be at the Saturday market Saturday, so this is just some of the soap. But before we get into that, I just thought I'd let you know that I'm going to be dedicating this business to the Lord. I haven't said that publicly before. I've said it privately to some friends of mine and stuff like that. But so anyway, I just thought I'd let you know that it's something that I've been thinking about for years, and I just I'm gonna do it, but I've just never said it publicly. So it's something that I wanted to let you all know. And it's anyway, this one pastor that I follow. His name is Kurt Ministries. I don't know his actual name, but anyway, it's he's kind of a prophetic. I mean, I follow a bunch of people. So anyway, he was going through Isaiah 61 today, and he said, "The Spirit of the Lord," and this is a verse that God gave me years ago at some women's retreat. It was interesting. They said that they had prayed over all the verses, and God gave them these verses. So they must have been blown away when they got this verse, and so was I, because I used to work in the court schools with juvenile delinquents, and I had just got the job like several months before, and this was my first women's retreat after I accepted the Lord back in 1990. And so it says, "The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is upon me, because the Lord has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He sent me up to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives, and release from darkness for the prisoners, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all who mourn, and provide for those who grieve in Zion, and bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and the garment of praise instead of the spirit of despair. They will be called oaks of righteousness, a planting of the Lord, for the display of his splendor." And that kind of blew me away. I was not expecting that, him to, he was talking about, what's going on today and stuff like that. So it was quite interesting. So I also follow Lance Wall now, and it's more of a prophetic ministry type stuff. And, I just kind of follow a lot of people. I just, so anyway, I think God can talk to people nowadays, but, I don't totally believe that's how God has to talk to you, but I don't believe that, that's what we should be stuck in either. So anyway, that's, and anyway, you got to be, also naturally, you have to be careful about that too. So you don't want to lure people into, if God's not talking to them that way, then something's wrong with them either. So you need to be careful on that too. So anyway, so it's quite interesting. God's moving with me in a lot of ways. Just it was another interesting. I was Sunday. I was at Rice. I dropped by Rice Furniture, and was in their parking lot and dropped by. Tried to prop up the tent, but then the tent broke under me. So anyway, I was in the parking lot, and I just was sitting there chatting with this other person, and she's going to be at the Saturday market as well, because I invited her, and Kettle Corn's going to be there too, and because we invited them too. And there's this guy that was walking down the street, and he looked like, I don't know if he's homeless or he's just on the streets or what his deal is, but you could tell he's been around the block a few times, kind of had it rough and stuff like that. And there's a time when, probably not too long ago, I would have kind of not said anything or kind of turned my nose up at him and things like that. And I kind of got up, and he was walking along the sidewalk, so basically he had his back to me, and I got up and went over and started chatting with him. He came over, and I don't know, we talked for, he came over, in the parking lot. We chatted for about a half hour or so, and ended up getting his name, and because we were supposed to have Bible study tonight, and he was asking to be able to go, because you could tell he was searching. And I wasn't going to give him a ride, because I'm a female, so I was gonna, I says, well, I could get you a ride. And so I was planning on calling somebody, one of the guys in our group. We didn't have a Bible study that evening, but I didn't know that at the time. So I got his name and number, and I ended up giving it to a friend of mine that's in the group, and who's kind of been down the same road as him. Maybe not exactly the same, but similar. And so anyway, he's going to give him a call, and so that's quite interesting, where I think God's kind of moving in me, whereas before I'd have been like, oh, what are people going to think? Now I'm kind of like, oh, okay, whatever, and it's, I don't know, it's kind of neat. And there's another opportunity that opened up where something I've been wanting to talk about for quite a while that I felt needed to be said. And I had my opportunity, and I said it, and the person said, can you contact me? And I kind of sat around for, I don't know, a day or two, and I didn't do anything. And so finally I sat down, and I thought to myself, okay, Lord, you opened the door, so what are you going to say? So I sat down and wrote the email out and sent it off, and I had no problem with it. And before I'd have probably like, oh, what are people going to think? What if this gets out? And or whatever, something like that. And I didn't feel like that anymore. So I don't know, God's just moving and changing my heart, and just a lot of different ways. So it's it's like you always want to point to one incident that happens, that where God's doing whatever, and I can't point to one incident like that. So if something comes across to me that it also said, you also covered for get yourself ready, stand up, and say to them, whatever I command to you, do not be terrified by them, or I will terrify you before them. Today I have made you a fortified city. And the person said he thought that you were talking about Israel, because he's a rabbi from Israel, is Kurt Ministries guy, he's a rabbi. And he said that he felt that it was talking about Israel and the United States. And an iron pillar and a bronze wall to stand against the whole land, against the kings of Judah, its officials, its priests, and the people of the land. They will fight against you, but will not overcome you, for I am with you and will rescue you, declares the Lord. And he said that that's what he felt like God impressed upon him, was telling him. So I thought that was neat, and I thought I would share it with everybody. And so if the Lord kind of drops something on me, or during this time, then by all means I will open this up, and I will open this up again. So anyway, just a minute, I forgot my my handy dandy little weight mitt thing, so I'll be right back. I meant to get everything before I started this, and I didn't do that. So anyway, this is this is what we're going to be doing right now. Is this is our packaging, and so anyway, these soaps are these are cast. They're both the same soaps. It's just that I colored them differently. So one has a excuse me, sorry about that. One has a kind of a gold pigment to it, and the other has, it's supposed to be a bronze, but it turned out a reddish, probably because different time when I put the color into it, so it just turned out a little differently. Sometimes that happens, you know, depending on the way the heat or whatever. So I'm gonna get my batches here, and I'm gonna show you what this is. Kind of keep them stashed a little bit. So right here